Senegal's main opposition, the African Patriots of Senegal for Work Ethics and Fraternity, is accusing the government of arbitrarily arresting its Secretary General for, quote, the peaceful expression of its opinion. The party says Bassirou Diomaye Faye was arrested last Friday for expressing his displeasure with the March 30 court decision in which opposition leader Ousmane Sonko was given a 2-month suspended sentence and fined about $332,000 in a libel case brought against him by the country's tourism minister, Mme Yassine. Today, Monday, Nya is going back to court to say that the $300,000 fine is not enough. Yassine Fall is Vice President for International Relations of Pastel Les Patriots. She tells me that the Senegalese court system has been weaponized to exclude Sonko from contesting next year's presidential election, thereby paving the way for President Macky Sall to seek a third term.
Our Secretary General, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, wrote on his Facebook a post that stated that the magistrates in the court have not followed due process because Mr. Sonko has been asked to pay $200 million so far, which is about $300,000, to Mr. Mme Yassine, and also have been indicted of 2 months without staying in jail. Mr. Sonko and his lawyers had the opportunity, according to the law, to really write back to the court and reply to that and say that whether they agree or whether they're going to ask for the court to be opened again. They were not given those 30 days. What happened was that Mr. Mme Yassine and the procurer went back and said that they were not happy with the verdict. Despite the fact that the day before Mr. Mme Yassine spoke openly on television and radio and said that he was happy with the verdict, the next day he came back and said he wasn't happy. Now, he didn't sue the person who accused him and wrote a book and demonstrated that indeed he did embezzle funds. He's accusing Mr. Sonko. The reason being that if Mr. Sonko is indicted of 6 months, even without going to jail, or 3 months of going to jail, he will not be able to be a candidate because the law says that if you are indicted for 3 months or 6 months without going to jail, you will not be a voter. In Senegal, in order to be a candidate, you have to be a voter.
Does the opposition, or do you believe that Mr. Sonko should get a new trial?
Number one, I believe that the justice system in Senegal has been weaponized politically. So we do not feel like Mr. Sonko is getting fair trial in Senegal. That's the first statement. The second point is Mr. Sonko should get a fair trial with all magistrates that are not involved into any kind of conflict of interest.
You mentioned that the magistrate that presided over Mr. Sonko's defamation case has a conflict of interest. Can you tell us again what's the conflict there?
What we see as conflict of interest is that, there have been a very big reshuffling within the justice system. And many magistrates that have been moved in very key decision-making position within the justice system. One of them, who was really the prosecutor that took the lawsuit of Mr. Mme Yassine against Mr. Sonko and added other incrimination on it, meaning that, yes, Mr. Mme Yassine, you are just saying that, you are suing for defamation, but we are going to add 1, 2, 3 issues to make it harder even for Mr. Sonko to get out of this lawsuit. That magistrate has been taken away. He has been moved now at a higher level, and he is the magistrate now that is taking the decision on the next step in this process. So we are saying that there is a conflict of interest. He should not be in charge of that. Also, we are saying that several of the magistrates that are being hired by the president. Now, there is a conflict because the president is the one who hired them, and there is the independence of justice in Senegal because all of these magistrates are hired by the president. They respond to the president through the Minister of Justice. This is the Senegal way in which we live now. The Senegal way, the justice system is being weaponized. The Senegal way, the justice system is being used a political weapon to prevent an opponent from being a candidate.